but you got to try. You got to try and do something. So a couple of teams that to look at is the New York Giants. We were talking about them. You got to think that they are going to get the replacement for Eli Manning at this point, unless there is a guy that they know will fall to them in the second round that they can get. Because remember, they're still going to be pretty high in the second round, picking early in the draft. So remember, the Chargers got Drew Brees in the second round. That played out pretty well. So I'm not going to put any pressure and say anything like that is sitting in the second round. But what I'm saying is that if it's not a guy like Dwayne Haskins, or they don't go with Kyler Murray, or Kyler Murray starts slipping, then you have to take into consideration some other things. The Oakland Raiders, which I'm still trying to figure out why a quarterback is attached to the Oakland Raiders. It seems like unless John Gruden knows something about Derek Carr that we all don't know, that he can see, that we can't see, it seems like Derek Carr would be the guy, and then they would use these draft picks. They got 3 draft picks. Obviously, they got the draft pick from the Bears, and they got one from the Cowboys for the trade of Amari Cooper and Khalil Mack. I can't think that I would go a quarterback in those first 3 picks. Too many positions to address. You did address your wide receivers with Tyler Williams and Antonio Brown. Running back, not yet. Tight end, you lost Jared Cook, not yet. Defense, not yet. So I just think, you still have to replace, a guy like Khalil Mack. You're not going to get another Khalil Mack, but you still have to replace a guy like Khalil Mack. So a lot of things that's going on in the NFL draft that, we're going to be sitting here watching what the Patriots are going to do, And here's one thing that I want to point out to keep an eye on. The LA Rams. Keep an eye on the LA Rams. It won't be day 1, but definitely look at day 2 or day 3. If they get a running back in day 2, that is going to speak volumes as far as like maybe what's going on with Todd Gurley. They might even go to third round. Even if they go to third round, that's still a flag, because reports are that he got arthritis. TMZ Sports caught up with him. They said he was limping. He looked like he was limping. At this point, and you're almost basically 2 months removed from the Super Bowl. I hope this. I'm just hoping maybe his leg would just whatever it would, and he's going to be good. But if the Rams do take a running back early, that's going to speak volumes for what's going on with this team. So, but we'll find all that out next week during the NFL draft on Thursday night, which is going to be the primetime night. They'll do the first round, and then after that, you'll have day 2 and day 3 that they will complete. So, and we'll talk about the draft. We'll talk about how well people did, where people got drafted that we liked, where people drafted that we didn't like. So, but what we would do next, and they're showing the highlights of Indiana just falling apart. But what we'll do next, we're going to take a break, and then we'll come back from the break, and we'll talk some NBA and this playoff atmosphere that we are engulfed in, and whatever else that you may want to talk about. It's the Wait a Minute Show with your man, Jelani JB Bodie. We'll be back after these words.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I am Vince Wright, the sports governor, and you know me from the Sports Done Right show. But when I'm not doing Sports Done Right, I'm in the executive mansion chilling with the Wait a Minute Show. That's right, Jelani, Lopan, indeed. Keep it tuned here, y'all. The Wait a Minute Show. My name is Vince Wright, and I approve this message.
Being good at life means getting your finances together so you can focus on the moments that matter most. With over 170 years of expertise, New York Life Insurance Company provides you with benefits you can enjoy while you're, well, living. So give me, Doug Stewart, your local New York Life agent, a call. I can help you build a solid financial future to help you and your family be good at life. You can reach me at 678-770-8073 or look for me at newyorklife.com.
Do you want your next Atlanta event to be memorable? If so, have Drink in Color at your next function. Drink in Color is sophisticated bartending that creates signature cocktails for your special occasion. Wow your family, friends, and business associates next time with Drink in Color. You can contact the owner, Kiki Lewis, at 678-813-7102. That's 678-813-7102. You can also email her at drinkincolor@gmail.com and follow on Instagram at drinkincolor. And tell her you were referred by the Wait a Minute Show. Drink in Color, cocktail catering. Let the cocktail sparkle at your next event.
We all hate when we have unexpected car problems. Well, I am here to tell you about a viable solution. Bay 11 Auto and my man Melvin. You have emission problems? Brakes need changing? Transmission slipping? Is your car just driving sluggish? No problem is too big. I live on the other side of town and I drive over an hour to a guy that I trust. Melvin is honest, dependable, and definitely not in the business to break your pockets. Come see the official mechanic Melvin at Bay 11 Auto. You will be glad you did. You can reach him at 1455 General Arts Road, Conyers, Georgia, or 404-295-5715. That's 404-295-5715.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and you're listening to
It's the Wait a Minute Show
on X Squad Radio Network. You heard me earlier at the beginning of the show. I'm going to talk about it again. X Squad affiliates.com/contest. Do not miss out on the opportunity to get yourself $100. xsquadaffiliates.com/contest. Just go to the website that I just put out there for you. Follow 3 simple rules, and then you enter yourself in to the contest. So, and read the instructions, ladies and gentlemen. Read the instructions. But we are back in, and we are talking about NBA right now. And we got some bounce back games that went down yesterday that needed to happen, and the team definitely needed it. The Raptors and the 76ers. So I'll start with the 76ers. 76ers came back to beat the Orlando Magic. And actually, they put a beat down on the Orlando Magic. And you kind of thought, that's what you would have got from the first game, but it didn't play out like that. And I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to put it all on Kyle Lowry or anything like that. But, I think a lot of people, may forget, because I even talked about this, what's going on with Kyle Lowry. He scored 0 points. He goes through these games in the playoffs that, you can't be having, but he bounced back with 22 points, and he also went along with Kawhi Leonard, who balled out with 37 points, and they beat the Orlando Magic 111-82. Did I think the Raptors were in trouble? No. I saw them bouncing back. I see how this happens, all the time. A team that should be beaten, a lower seeded team, and maybe they go in there with the wrong mindset. Let's just say that the team, I guess they just think they're going to turn it on and just beat the team, and then they get beat, and then all of a sudden everything starts clicking, and they're like, whoa, we need to do something about this. So that's what the Raptors did, and if not for DJ Augustine and that heck of a shot that he made, while the clock was counting down, this could have been, a different series as well. Toronto could be going up, 2-0. It didn't happen that way, but I'm just speaking about it is because to be in that game tied, and he hits that 3-point shot, and Kyle Lowry had 0 points for your team, you could kind of think that Orlando got lucky, as well, because know why? None of his teammates would have thought that he would have gave them a bagel, at this point. So, a couple shots would have changed everything, in that game, but it didn't. But now they got the series tied up 1-1. Also, who has the series tied up 1-1 is the Philadelphia 76ers. And they bounced back in a big form, and they gave the business to the Brooklyn Nets and beat them 145-123. So this was just guys knowing that, one, they can't walk the streets of Philadelphia if they lose this game. But same thing like Kyle Lowry. Guys that just had bad games that there was no choice. You had to have a good game. And that included guys, Ben Simmons, J.J. Redick, that played in that first one. Jimmy Butler was the only person. Well, Jimmy Butler and Joel Embiid were the only persons that scored of anything that was significant in that first game. And you got a nice. What am I trying to say? You got a nice. Because Tobias Harris had a horrible game. So you got a nice output from, your main cogs on your team. First game that they played, like I said, J.J. Redick didn't give him anything. Ben Simmons didn't give him anything. Mike Scott didn't give him anything. Boban gave him a little bit. But again, that was in, spurts. That was the first game that they weren't getting anything. And then comes along, excuse me, yesterday's game, or Monday's game, I should say, that they put the beat down on the Brooklyn Nets, and it was a totally different story. Tobias gave them 19. Joel still pretty much gave him 23. He gave him 22 before, so he stayed where he did. But J.J. Redick, 17. Ben Simmons, 18. So all these guys, Mike Scott, 15. All these guys stepped up, to contribute to this team. So they will just need to not put themselves in a hole. They are still young. They're still figuring this thing out. There's still going to be some bumps in the road. Coach Brown, not Larry Brown, but Coach Brown, that's that's on the 76ers team, will be going through bumps as well. And just making sure those bumps don't pay. And I don't think it will be, in this series. They'll get through it. But you can't take that into next series, playing like that. If you play like that, you might end up, going home sooner than later. So the Raptors, 76ers, they tie things up. This could easily, they win the next 4 games and then they go ahead and get that out of there. So there was no alarm on either game for me. I just thought there were good games that Orlando and Brooklyn played. So look like we may have the real, matchup here, and it probably will go like that going forward. Going forward, we got to talk about the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors lost DeMarcus Cousins to a quad injury, and it was already bad. The 31 points, losing the 31 points, but losing DeMarcus Cousins really spreads this team thin, I should say. He did give them a lot of options. He did give them the opportunity to rest guys like KD, Draymond, Clay, Steph, and you could still have you still had an all-star you could funnel the ball to. So you always had an all-star on the court no matter what throughout the entire game. So with this injury, I talked about it before. I talked about it at the beginning of the season with the Golden State Warriors. It was more of, can they stay healthy, and what happens if they lose one of their main people? Because they're paying all their top five, and they're paying their guy that's coming off the bench, and Andre Iguodala. So they weren't able to put those dollars into role players like they were in the past. And teams are going to come after them. I told you the last thing this is the last thing they wanted, but the next to last thing that they